everyone, this is Sophia Vella, and I'm here to tell you about my capstone project, Social Emotional Essentials, a Teacher's SEL Toolbox. This semester, I had the privilege of doing an independent study with Heather Reynolds, where we created and hosted workshops for educational stakeholders on the benefits of social emotional learning in education. So my capstone project is a social emotional learning professional development for all school stakeholders. So that basically means lunch staff, custodians, nurses, librarians, teachers, administrators, anybody who is working in a school is a school personnel and is considered a teacher in the eyes of this professional development. That is my intended audience. That audience is also New York State teacher based. Which I will get into more later. This professional development is entirely online and is asynchronous. It is intended to be given to all school stakeholders or school personnel prior to them assuming their respective role. So I would consider this almost like a prerequisite before beginning a role in a school community. So this professional development, like I said, is all online, and it is through Google Classroom. Some of the tools that participants will need to use for this professional development are a valid Gmail account so they can access the Google course. They will need to know or how to engage with Google Slides, Google Docs, Google Forms, and Google Meet for a pre-course roundtable. However, if anybody is unfamiliar with any of these tools or Google Suite products, there will be a Google Classroom tutorial at the beginning of the course to prep each participant. There are four driving forces of rationale behind my professional development, the first being to build social emotional awareness. Too often are educational stakeholders or school personnel unfamiliar with the actual definitions of SEL, what it entails. This professional development is also to promote the benefits of SEL for everyone. SEL is not just something for students or for young people, it is for adults and beyond. I also created this professional development with teachers in mind. So I looked to what teachers are really craving and wanting from their professional developments. What are they not getting? How can I, as the instructional designer and the course facilitator, bring those features and elements that are so wanted to this course? And then I also wanted this to be a reusable resource. I plan to return to the classroom in the fall as a teacher, and I think this would be a great way to implement a grassroots model for social emotional learning and share this with my colleagues. So my course is broken up into 5 modules, and they are based on the Collaborative for Academic, Social and Emotional Learning, or CASEL's 5 R's. Those 5 R's are self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. These are considered the 5 core principles, pillars, or foundations of emotional education. So each module begins with a set of 3 goals that are define, analyze, and evaluate, as well as reflect. And again, each module is based off of CASEL's 5 R's. So for example, let's say that our module focus is relationship skills. So throughout the entire module, a participant will define what relationship skills are and be able to identify them. Then they're going to analyze evidence and research-based relationship skill practices, teaching strategies and initiatives, and see the potentials and affordances of them. Then finally, they're going to evaluate those practices, teaching strategies, and initiatives and see how those can be implemented into their respective role. So the module layout is as follows here. After the goals, there are research and resources that a participant can peruse and go through that will help them with the following prompts or areas, such as the discussion post, where they're going to take those research and resources and collaborate and transact with fellow peers or fellow colleagues in this course. Then they're going to have an opportunity for self-reflection. Then there's going to be a assessment at the end of each module, also known as the module recap. So now let's get into each of those elements of the module. So first you have your research and resources. So there are 5 CASEL R's. One of them is self-awareness. So module 1 is self-awareness. So in the research and resources for self-awareness, there are going to be readings, images, and videos all focused on that theme. After participants have analyzed and gone through and read all and transacted with all of the materials in the research and resources portion, they're going to move on to a discussion post where they are going to use the information that they got from the module resources. They're going to identify 2 teaching strategies and explain the relevance and use, how they intend to incorporate those strategies or practices into their respective role, and explain and elaborate why those enhance their own SEL or the SEL of their students. And then they're going to thoughtfully engage and interact with other peers. Participants also have a choice in how they craft their response. They can type it out, they can create a presentation, or they can record themselves similar to how I'm doing right now. After the discussion posts, participants will have the opportunity to reflect on the module's theme. And they're going to do that by engaging with New York State Education Department's SEL benchmarks, which were just recently revised this past November. Each of the 3 goals in the New York State Education Department's SEL benchmarks are based off of CASEL's 5R. So they're directly correlated and aligned with the research of this professional development. And each reflective opportunity or reflection opportunity is different. So what they're going to do is review the goal that the module intends. They are going to analyze their own strengths and areas of growth. Because this is an adult intended audience, they're going to be looking at the adult indicators on the SEL benchmarks. And then they are going to reflect based on the prompts in each reflective opportunity. And they can do that through typing out their response or recording themselves. Then the last part of the module is the module recap or assessment. The layout of these assessment is a 5 select response, 1 constructed response test item, so a total of 6 items on a Google Forms. There is feedback given immediately whether or not you achieved the correct answer or not. And if you did, let's say, get the incorrect answer on one of these quizzes, there is an additional support, so another image, reading, video that can support participants in generating an understanding than simply getting an incorrect on a quiz. And then that process repeats for all 5 modules. To conclude this presentation, I wanted to go over the theories that inspired my capstone, first being Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is the theory that emotional needs must be met so that learning can happen. The next is the TPACK model, which is an instructional design model where technology, pedagogy, academics, and content knowledge can all be integrated together to create meaningful instruction. Next is School Climate's connection to SEL. I've included in my course a SEL research hub or information hub where you can see the research and evidence that connects school climate and SEL together. And lastly, the CASEL framework, of course, that all 5 R's or the 5 modules are based on. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I look forward to seeing all of your presentations as well.